Hello to everyone, another exciting episode of Match Point, and this is E-Awaz live feeds from Match Point by Dr. Adnan, a new show and a brand new show comprising of Pakistan's win over Ireland. Yes, Pakistan beat Ireland in an historic match, first ever match in the Irish history. This is one of my major headline today and the very first headline. Imam ul Haq, the nephew of Inzamam ul Haq, prevents the Irish win and prevents the certain defeat of Pakistan by the hand of Irish second time. Could have been possible, not in the ODIs, this time in the Test cricket, but he prevented it with his magnificent 74. And thank you PCB for coming up over here. Thank you PCB for the rise of the Irish cricket in the Dublin. This is the verdict of not of the Dr. Adnan, but this is the verdict of the chairman and the director of Irish cricket team. They are thanking PCB and they said top bunch of lads and top cricket we have seen and we were seeing, and top cricket and fantastic cricket by Pakistan and superb playback and the comeback by the ever men in green. And this time they said thank you PCB, and for sure we will pay back the visit and we will come back in Lahore. Yes, I'm not kidding. It's a chance now that Irish team will come back to the Pakistan for the payback visit, for the thank you tour, and they will come in the Qaddafi Stadium Lahore. But yet the things to finalize that how it will happen, but it will happen soon. And we will tell you in the match point what's the new progress as the things will go ahead. Lords, the headquarter of cricket, don't need to say anything. All of you, the cricket fans, are very much familiar with this very ground. 24th of May, you are waiting, I am waiting for another historic match, because every match that has been played on the Lords, that creates history. Whether it's 1982 tour, whether it's Mohsin Khan double century, whether it's Wasim and Waqar's 1992 the last wicket stand, not with a bowling, with a batting and winning, and the savior for the Pakistan, Lords is always the blessing. Whether it's Misbahul Haq, whether it's Muhammad Amir, always memorable garden for the Pakistan and one of the most favorable spots for the Pakistan cricket team along with the Oval. So Pakistan is all set and ready for the big occasion. 24th of May, Pakistan is playing the first match with the England. This will be the two test match series, and after that Pakistan will go to the Scotland with a short stint of T20. But first we are waiting that what Pakistan will do, and Pakistan is busy right now with the Leicestershire match, so that to warm up and to check up their gears for this big one. Ireland were playing their first ever match in the history of cricket, but believe me, I want to tell you that they are not the beginners. They are the giant killers. They have giant killers. They have killed the Middlesex County before in the championship, and lot more promising cricketing players, and might be their cricketing experience is more than the Pakistan team. And if I tell you, it will not be wrong that 9 of the players from the Pakistan were not having the experience of test, while 9 out of 11 players from the Irish side were playing, having the experience on their feathers and shoulders of the first class cricket and the 5-match cricket. But the Pakistan lads were quite vulnerable as compared to them on the stats as well as on the white paper and the pen. Ireland have been waiting for the 51,556 days. Wow! 51,556 दिन, 515556 days Ireland have waited for the dream day to come in the Malahide, and finally they have opened up the shoulder in Malahide, and the dream came true for the Irish fan, man in green. One man in green, Shaheen or Pakistan, but there are another man in green, which is the Irish team, who have already mentioned the giant killers, who have killed Pakistan with their abilities in the 2007 World Cup, which made the early exit of Pakistan. What a dream day for them. And now I want to show you some very interesting thing. I will just you can see on the screens also. So these verdicts, these are not from my side. This is some very interesting stuff which I have seen from the Irish Cricket Board. So I just wanted to share this with you. If you can look upon this, if you are a young Irish cricket fan and you want to come to the ground today, leave school now, come down to the ground, and I will email your teacher a letter explaining why it is more important that you are here. So this seemed to me very funny, so that's why I wanted to share. I wish we are also having the cricket board like same, and we are also having the schools like the same. When I was in my teens, I still remember in the 1987 Cricket World Cup, when I was running here and there in the recess and the game periods to my friend's home, here and there to the small transistors, that what's the Pakistan scores against the Broad and the Bill Athys and the Ian Botham and the Mike Gettings team, what Pakistan is doing against the Viv Richards West Indies. All of these memories just struck back again in my mind, that I wish that I would have a school like this and I would have a board like this where I was in my teens and I was in my schools in those days in the late 80s. Anyhow, next big headline news is from Zimbabwe. I will take you to that side of globe. That Zimbabwe, as I told you in the last episode, that Pakistan is soon gonna play a tri-series along with Australia, but that's in jeopardy because might be Zimbabwean player might not come to play this series, because it has been heard that from the last May Zimbabwean players have not been paid by the cricket board. So there is a huge revolt from the players, and players are saying they will not come and they won't come to play the match if they would not be paid, and the deadline they have given was 16th of May, which has gone. So I don't know what will be the new aspect, whether there will be a certain more negotiations from the board and the Zimbabwean players, but yet so far they are declining the offer to go against Pakistan and Australia. So might be we see a new team with Pakistan and Australia. Something to tell about the Mohammad Hafiz. Mohammad Hafiz, last show I have told you that his bowling action has been cleared now. So he is fit to bowl if he has been picked by the Pakistan Cricket Board. But Hafiz is little bit angry. Hafiz is saying that he has seen some of the bowlers who are bowling more than the 25 to 30 degree angle and with a bend, more than the 25 and 35 degree bend, and still they are bending, and they are the sons of the ICC and they are their favorites. So immediately Pakistan Cricket Board have sent the show cause notice, and I don't know what Hafiz will do, but Hafiz will have to explain about his motives, about his verdict. Otherwise might be he may penalized under the cricket, the new cricket rules, because Hafiz is not happy. He said his bend was only 16 degrees. If you are not knowing about the bend, I want to tell you that the official bend which is allowed in the cricket, that is about 15 degrees. So Hafiz bend that was coming in the arm while the swinging, it was 16. Mataya Muralidharan was 17. Sunil Narayan at one stage was 18, but later again he was on 17. But some of the guys, he says, Australians and South African and one more, I just forgot the name, they are having the bend of 23 degrees according to Hafiz, and they have not been penalized. So this was the main verdict of Hafiz. We will just see what PCBs do in this aspect. Now another report is coming regarding the Shahid Khan Afridi, Lala the Boom Boom. Shahid Khan Afridi will not be available for the match happening on 31st of May. As I have told you in the last show, he and the others and the lot of cream from the India, they will participate in one match which will be as a fundraiser, which will be towards the people who were affected in the hurricane in the West Indies. So it will be all against West Indies 11 versus the World 11 at the Lord's headquarter of cricket. But now Shahid Khan Afridi's name has been withdrawn. Yet news to come that who will replace him. This is not because he doesn't want to go there. He always promoting the charity, but he's told that is because because of his knee issues. And on the social media, we have seen that he is holding his knee, and one of the doctors, he is examining his knee and the patellar region and the posterior part of the knee. So Shahid Khan Afridi is still suffering from the same injury which he was suffering during the days of Pakistan Super League, where he missed the crucial Karachi Kings match. So same part he is missing again. So he will no more become the part of the cricket team over there on the 31st of May, the World 11. Another news, thanks for our production team, Zishan, for reminding me yesterday. Actually, I have shared this news already on the radio about, I think, 2 weeks back, but I think I forgot to mention this on my sports show on the television. So once again, as a reminder I got, so I'm telling you regarding the Test Championship, that there is a chance now that Pakistan could have been the sole survivor and the only champions and the last champions of the Champions Trophy. It is possible that might be there is no more Champions Trophy, because Champions Trophy has been converted to the Test Championship. Actually, this was first briefed and told and explained back in, if I'm not wrong, in 2013. The verdict came that will be the last Champions Trophy, so India could have been possibly the last winner. But later on, when the 2014 came, again they told that they changed the plan and they said no, we will play the Champions Trophy and we are holding back the Test Championship. So 2017 Champions Trophy was announced at that time in the 2014, and that was played in England, and where Pakistan eventually became a winner. So now the ICC is doing the changes again, and again a new verdict came that Test Championship will be started soon. That will be on the point system. The top 4 teams will go for the Test Championship. If you are little bit not aware of this and not understanding my point, I just want to tell you simply that in the hockey, when there was a Champions Trophy, hockey was played between the 12 to 15 nations, but the top 6 nations were playing the Champions Trophy when Air Marshal Noor Khan held it for the first time, this dream, 1978, and Pakistan was the eventual winner in the first 2 times when Akhtar Rasool and Samiul and those lads when winning the Champions Trophy for Pakistan, and later on the great Mansoor and Shahbaz, 1994 they won the 3rd time the Champions Trophy. So same that sort Champions Trophy, the top 6 teams were coming in the hockey. Now there will be a same strategy, and the top 4 teams will come in that championship of Test cricket. So if this happens, Pakistan will be a sole survivor and the last champion and the evergreen champion of the Champions Trophy. We have to go to the break, but I just want to give you 1-2 more news, so then I will proceed to the break. Najam Sethi, the chairman of Cricket Board, he is saying that we are planning now 8 to 11 matches to be held in Pakistan this time. Lahore, Karachi, and there will be a 3rd city. Still, I'm not sure which will be a 3rd city, but I think some of the guesses and the social media and the media persons, and I'm talking about some of the PCB personals, so they are giving some indication to the twin city Rawalpindi Islamabad. So hopefully it is a Rawalpindi stadium, but yet PCB has not announced which will be the 3rd stadium. Mark Waugh, the last news before the last headline before the break, Mark Waugh, the brother of Stephen Waugh and the extraordinary slip catcher and a batter from the Australia, he is saying that he is not happy with the India. India doesn't want cricket to be prosperous on the cricket grounds, as this is all about India's refusal in the Adelaide Oval to play a day-night match. And he said that we need to revitalize the cricket, but India is not supporting us, and he is very disappointed. He is very disappointed, but we are not disappointed because we are very optimistic, because this is Match Point by Dr. Adnan, and you are seeing these feeds on E-Awaz, the largest television network, a South Asian most watched television network around North America, and the most watched sports show, cricket show around North America. I'm Dr. Adnan. We will take a short break and we will be right back. Yes, welcome back. We were talking about the headlines about the Match Point. So my next headline, which I will proceed, is regarding the Mohammad Amir. Bad news for the Pakistan cricket. Still doubts that Amir will play in this historic match or not. I I'm saying about the Lords match. In the Lords, when Pakistan will be taking on England on the first test match of this season, Amir might be not available to them because of the knee injury. So Azhar Mahmood is also very worried, the bowling coach, but still it's up and down. In the Leicestershire match, he has been seen to practice and he's seen to bowl in the nets, but still it is not confirmed that whether Amir will play or not. What else in the news? There is something else. What's that? Nasir Hussain. Nasir Hussain, the previous English skipper and the only man who have beaten Pakistan in their den. I mean National Stadium. National Stadium Karachi, where Pakistan never lost a test match, but the Moons Khan Pakistan in the year 2000 lost a match to the England. That is the only match in the history of Pakistan since Pakistan's birth, 14th August 1947, and Pakistan's first ever match, 1952 Oval. First ever match that Pakistan lost at Karachi, and that was the only match. Nasir Hussain was the captain of that match. What Nasir Hussain is saying? Nasir Hussain is saying, rather he is not saying, he is warning English players. He is saying worst thing England could do is to write Pakistan off. He said, be aware of these champs. He told that don't take them light. Don't take them light that they are playing with the young lads, 9 players who are not having the experience of county cricket, not having the experience of test cricket. But he is reminding one more thing. What's that? He is saying that the men in green came last year to you in England and Oval at Lords, once beaten by India, the arch rivals. Pakistan was nowhere in the Champions Trophy. Pakistan track record is very poor, and what they did, that was an amazing thing what they did, and they are having the potential of doing that. 1 minute down and the next minute up. This is the most dangerous prospect of the team Pakistan, and he warned England team what they did to them in the semi-final, they can do it again here on the Lords. So get ready for them and beware of them. They are very hard when they bounce back. So all now up to the English team, what they listen and what they not listen. Wahab Riaz, what he is doing, he is saying my aim is to come back to the cricket and I vow to come back, and he is practicing again and again, and he is doing the nets, and he is saying that when I will be coming, I will be as showing as myself as a different bowler. If you are not knowing, if you are tuned in right now and you are not knowing about the Pakistan cricket team, I want to tell you that Wahab Riaz is not with the Pakistan team. He was not picked by the Pakistan coach Mickey Arthur because Wahab was below par on the 17 and the Mickey Arthur's level was 19, and Mickey told that if you want to become the part of Pakistan team, your par score of the fitness, the running between the wickets and the touchdowns and coming back to the base stump, that should be 19. But even he has picked some lads like Sarfraz and Asad Shafiq and some other. Asad Shafiq was on the 19, Sarfraz was on the 17.5, but Mickey gave the statement that if you are not on the par score, my par score of 19, although you are a par score of cricket 17, but I can pick you even below 19 if you were a match winner in the last 2 years for Pakistan. But for the Wahab, he said he was not the match winner, and the last good performance was only the Adelaide Oval against the Australia, against the Shane Watson in 2015 Cricket World Cup. So Mickey was not satisfied with all this stuff, and he said Wahab will have to improve, but Wahab now vows to come back stronger this time, and he says that I have done some changes and you will see that change, and I will be showing you what new I can do in the limited over as well as in the test cricket. Azhar Mahmood, again he is saying that Amir is doing the IC treatment, and we are hopeful that Amir will be fit for the match against English team on the 24th on the historic match. Fahim Ashraf and Imamul Haq, the big names for the Pakistan in the current test match. In the Irish match, they were given the test caps and the test status by the chairman Najam Sethi. Boyd Rankin, I want to tell you about one name. Who is he? Boyd Rankin. Boyd Rankin is the 15th cricketer of the world who have played now the test cricket from the two teams. Who was the last? The last was 21 years ago, Kelper Wessels, whom you were seeing in the 1992 Cricket World Cup, which Imran Khan's Pakistan eventually won. Kelper Wessels playing from Australia and then playing from South Africa. So he made the history now after 21 years when he became the second person in the history of Test cricket to represent the two top nations. And now after the headline, I want to give you the details of this Irish match, what happened to the Pakistan and what happened to the Pakistan batting lineup on the green grassy wicket, which is the weakness and for the trembling Pakistani batsmen. But thanks to the lads who have taken the match, otherwise it was gonna history for the Ireland and as well as for the Pakistan. Anyhow, just a quick reminder, Pakistan after losing the toss was put into the bat by the Irish team. Pakistan famous collapse at one stage, they were 156 for 6, and then came Shadab, Fahim Ashraf and Shadab Khan, the two lads from Islamabad United. So I always laugh that 6 lads from the Pakistan, they made the nearly 156, and then these two make another 150. So it was looking like to me Islamabad United versus rest of the Pakistan. But anyhow, it's Pakistan, it's team green, someone has to play and someone has to go out of the team. But Shadab Khan and Fahim Ashraf, the new breeds of Pakistani cricketer, talented all around in all 3 formats of the game, fielding, bowling, batting, excellent. And this is what Pakistan needs, and this is the discovery of Pakistan Super League, that to pick the men in green who are good in all 3 areas. Both made 50, and Shadab and Fahim with a rattling half centuries in the game and ultimately rescuing Pakistan, and Pakistan was able to give some target to the debutant Irish team and the other men in green. The close of play, I was telling you that Islamabad United was 113 for 0, while rest of the Pakistan was 138 for 6, and the extras were 17 when there was a rain delayed start on the second day of the test match. Fahim Ashraf, 50 of 52 balls is the fastest 50 by a Pakistani on the test debut. The previous one was by the Umar Akmal, that was 57 balls versus New Zealand on 2009. Now that record has been shattered now by the Fahim Ashraf. Pakistan declared their innings at 310, and this is Pakistan's second lowest total since 1974, in those days when Majid Khan and Intikhab Alam and Mushtaq Mohammad's team was declared against Aussies at that time for 190 for 9. So this is now the second lowest, because the lowest date back to the 1974, at that time when the Greg Chappell team was offered to bat after, and at that time the skipper Mushtaq Mohammad, he put Australia back to the bat after the follow on. So Murtag, I just want to mention, was the pick of the bowlers with 4 wickets, and Thompson grabbing up the 3 wickets. A brilliant bowling from the Irish team, and a very good attempt on the fragile Pakistan batting lineup. The most worrying thing was the Babar Azam in the first inning. Babar's average is declining day by day in the test. Thanks God he performed in the second inning, I will tell you in the future. But in the last inning, Babar was lacking his capabilities. He can perform more, but he was the underperformer. Why I'm saying this? Just because of these stats. ODI average Babar 51.11, T20 average if I pick 53.00, and the test average if I tell you, that is mere 23.38, which is not enough for the class of Babar when you say that he is a Virat Kohli of Pakistan. Anyhow, horrible collapse later on from the Irish team, which was not expected when they were 5 for 3 at the lunch. But then follow-on margin on this test was 150, and Irish team need to score at least 161 runs to avoid follow-on. They did their best, Kevin O'Brien, but little resistance came from the Gary Wilson later on the board also, but they couldn't do so. So they finished 130 all out, and in their 66-year test history, it was only the 5th time Pakistan declared the innings after being put into the bat. So this was the first time Pakistan has enforced the follow-on. This was the very important thing, because if Misbah-ul Haq would have been here, I'm really doubtful that he would have put Irish team back to the bat or he would have come again. I think at this pitch, if Misbah-ul Haq would have been there, he would have come back to the bat and then giving Irish team a target on the 4th day or the 5th day, making the pitch and the Irish team both vulnerable and like this. But this was a very brave decision. I don't know what was happening in the Sarfaraz mind, but actually this happened. Pakistan put Irish team into the bat. So the record is, I want to tell you that last time when it happened, that was in May 2002 in the New Zealand series, when the famous tour in the May, when New Zealand was beaten, and then later on some unknown circumstances, New Zealand team had to go back to the New Zealand, and this is the famous tour wherein Zamam made the triple ton in that match. So that was the inning where New Zealand was beaten by 1 innings and 324 runs, and Pakistan enforced the follow on for the first time in the last 16 years. But they saved the match ultimately. This is a big thing. Otherwise, lot of questions would have come to the Sarfaraz why to put Irish team back to the bat. Mohammad Amir brilliantly bowled in the match, but I think he was little unlucky in getting the wickets. But one amazing thing I want to mention, that since Amir's return in the cricket, test cricket, Amir has made 17th times it happened that Amir catch was dropped in the match since his comeback. So 17 matches and 16 dropped catch. This is too much. I was also worried that why this is happening with Mohammad Amir, but came to know this thing. Some of his colleagues are saying, don't want to mention the names, but they are saying this is only happening because Amir is too much excited after the edge. Soon he hears the nick and the edge from the batter. Immediately he screams, and with those sounds they said that the slip catcher or the wicket keeper or the close fielders, they get fumble and they are confused of the Amir shouts. But this is very ridiculous. No excuse for this to drop the catch, but this is being told to me that because of the Amir's pre-excitement, usually this is happening in cricket. So Pakistan, this was because of the Pakistan fielders, but the Irish team when came to bat again, this time showing the better resistance. And again, as I told you in the last show before the match, that find this danger man and have an eye on this danger man. Kevin O'Brien, a danger man. Again, Kevin O'Brien given a resistance. Congratulations on Kevin O'Brien, who became the first century maker from the Irish team in their history. So great moments for Kevin O'Brien, a great find for them. Kevin made the second best start in terms of rating points, which is 440 for the batsman from the sides playing the first test. So this is best since 146 years, since the inaugural match played between Australia and England, and this was amazing. What an effort from the Malahide Mysterio. Kevin O'Brien, hats off to him putting Pakistan back on the foot. Fantastic rear guard innings. Ireland at one stage with a genuine chance to register only the 4th win in the test history after the follow on, but unfortunately it could not happen. Last thing which I want to tell you before the break, Cricket Ireland marketing manager Andrew Leonard, what he says. He says that 21 years before, on the Tuesday morning early season, my brother snuck me from the school and he told me to go to the Clontarf to watch the Irish historic win over the Middlesex. And this 2018 early season Tuesday morning, my dad took me to the Malahide, we cherish another dream Irish win. But unfortunately, this could not happen. Why this could not happen? This I will tell you after the break. So you are watching Match Point. Keep watching E-Awaz. We will take a short break and I will be right back. Yes, welcome back on the Match Point. You are watching Match Point by Dr. Adnan. This is E-Awaz Television, the most watched television network around North America and the most watched sports and cricket show around this part of the hemisphere. I mean the North America, USA and Canada. And you are seeing the live feeds. We are discussing the Irish and Pakistan historic match, Ireland-Pakistan match, which Pakistan win by 5 wickets. And before going to the break, I was discussing regarding the Irish possibilities of Irish win and the Irish sentiments by their people, that what will happen to the Ireland and can Ireland can register their debutant win. But why it could not happen, I told you that I will tell you after the break, and now I am going to tell you that why it did not happen. Because obviously, Gary Wilson and Kevin O'Brien gave the wonderful resistance once again in the second innings with a centurion Kevin O'Brien, and they set Pakistan to a target of 160, which was very challenging on the last days because wicket was changed, the behavior was changed, and Sarfaraz Pakistan could have rattled on this wicket, and at one stage they were in a chance. But ultimately, thanks off to the debutant Imam ul Haq, who saved Pakistan's blushes on this very ground, Malahide in Ireland. Pakistan's run chases, I always say, are not for the faint-hearted. Pakistan's run chases are so dangerous that I recommend that anyone having a severe cardiac disease or the other diseases or the other nervous disposition, please don't watch Pakistan games. And this was once again proven in the Malahide. Whether it's Sharjah, whether it's West Indies, whether it's UK, whether it's Ireland, this always happens to the Pakistan fans because of the vulnerable Pakistan batting lineup, fragile batting lineup. Imam ul Haq century on the ODI debut is excellent, 74 not out on the test debut, and ultimately saving Pakistan's blushes on the debut. Imam ul Haq 74 not out is the second highest run score in the successful chase for the debutant in the test cricket for the Pakistan, but he couldn't break the record because the record is for the Yasir Hamid, a centurion back in 2003, Yasir Hamid versus Bangladesh in Karachi, when he made 105 runs. But this was the second best by the debutant to save the match for the Pakistan. Great to see the two former under-19 performers from the Pakistan, Imam ul Haq and the Babar Azam, who was his captain in that under-19 tournament. So brilliantly, both of them sailed Pakistan to the corners of the sea or the river, whatever you say. Sarfaraz Ahmed said that Imam and Babar today showed the pure character and the pure confidence, and because of these youngsters, Sarfaraz told that he is getting the confidence, and his confidence level has been boosted after this amazing performance for the next match. Pakistan, I think, don't like drawing the test match. They don't like to draw. They want to win, or sometimes they want to lose. They have not drawn a test match for the 21 matches dating back to the October 2015 in Abu Dhabi last time when they did it against England. So Pakistan in between never drew a test match, and this test match was also not drawn, just like the other matches in between. So Asad Shafiq, a lot of questions on the Asad Shafiq number. I think Asad Shafiq is still good at number 6. He needs to anchor Pakistan's. Haris Sohail and Asad still better. I don't think so that they should promote upwards in the order. Imam is performing well, other batters are performing well. I think the number is same. He should not come one down. Why? 1450s, 600s, average of 41.38 at number 6 makes a very promising scene for Asad to remain at this slot. One thing which I was unable to understand, lot of players were performing well, but some questions of the selection committee. The Rahat Ali was picked, not playing any first class season, only playing the T20 games, and not without playing in the first class cricket for the last 17 months, and he was given the chance to come back in the Pakistan team. He was a little expensive, he did well in the PSL, but totally looked out of rhythm. If I go back to his last 3 games, 0 wickets and 143 runs. So there is no justification that why Rahat Ali was in the team. I don't know when there will be a swing in the Lords, there will be a lot of air. Might be it may help him and Pakistan come as a different side, and Rahat Ali may perform different in the Lords. But right now in the Ireland, he could not justify his selection in the team. Mohammad Amir became the second left pacer after the Wasim Akram to grab 100 wickets from Pakistan, the second left-hander from the Pakistan. Mohammad Abbas finally finishes 9 wickets for 110 runs, and the last 9 years this was the best figures by the Pakistani fast bowler. Hats off to Abbas. Mohammad Amir reached 100 wickets in the test. He is 18th Pakistani bowler to reach this milestone and 10th fastest bowler, and only the second left arm pacer after the Wasim Akram. He did it, Amir, in the 31 test, but the great Wasim Akram has done it in 30 tests. But anyhow, big achievement for Amir, and we are hoping that he will be fit for the next test when we will reach Lords. Sarfraz Ahmed said, if Ireland are willing to come Pakistan, this is the best thing we can dream of. And the payback match, thank you so much. If Irish team is thinking for this, it will be very good in the prospering the cricket in Pakistan, as we are suffering since 2009. Amir won the match for Pakistan last time they visited Lords for a match, and this time will they taste the success again next week? This still, fingers crossed, I am not knowing. But Lords has a particular significance as the birth of cricket. This is where the cricket has been the birthplace, always been a dream for everyone to perform well, and I hope that Pakistan will perform well when Pakistan will reach here. Historic ground Pakistan is having, I told in the beginning, lot of promising past and lot of things Pakistan can cherish, including Mohsin Hassan Khan's double ton in the Lords back in the 1982 when Imran Khan took the team, when Imran Khan took the team again in 1987 against the Mike Gittings England. Again Pakistan won the match over here. Historic in this tour, historic games from Wasim Akram, Salim Malik at that time, his famous 99 he was out at 99 nervous 90s, and himself Imran Khan at that tour, Javed Miandad making the 282 runs, and he was caught in bowl by Graham Dilly. So great memories on this this ground. And then if I go to the 1992, after the Cricket World Cup, Javed Miandad took the team. At that time, Wasim and Waqar demoralizing the English batsmen, rooting their stumps, off stumps and leg stumps with their thrilling Yorkers, and the world was amazed with these Yorker deliveries. So again Pakistan is having a chance in the 1992. What I am telling you and reminding you, in that match I remember that the Lords match was saved by Wasim and Waqar, not with a ball, also with a bat, because Pakistan winning by 2 wickets. And later on in the 1996 when Wasim went, Pakistan again a winner. So every time, even Misbahul Haq when took the team in 2016, Pakistan's famous win and salute and push-ups and lot of things in the Pakistan team. So, and one more, if I go after these tours and during these tours when the Misbahul Haq tenure, now this is a big thing, that concerning thing what I say, and that right now the anchor will not be there with the Pakistan. What I mean by anchor, when I say the anchor, means Misbahul Haq will not be there, Yunus Khan, the Mysterio, will not be there, the 10,000 run getter, the only man in the history of Pakistan to touch this amazing figure, he will not be there. So these things are worrisome, that Pakistan middle order is fragile. English team as compared to the Irish team, if you compare with the Ireland, is more compatible to grasp Pakistan on the green grassy wicket, and who will bell the cat. This is the major concern when Broad will come and James Anderson will come. James Anderson is very lethal in his home. I told you in the last show also, again telling you that how Pakistan will play with a James Anderson, this is also a mystery. And then Fakhar or some new player, they would be given the cap. Still questions to come, and still one more thing, that Imam will be there, if Fakhar is there. So Pakistan is, again I remind you, that going in the early summer, whenever Pakistan went to the early summer, Pakistan could have faced difficulty, because even the seasoned campaigners like Aussies, who are every year coming to the England for the Ashes, they have never come to the England in the early summer. They are the only team who is most experienced team in this world to play in the English conditions, whether it's Ricky Ponting team, whether it is Stephen Waugh team, or whether it's Michael Clarke team. Aussies are knowing English team and English wickets more than anyone, but even they are not risking. But just see, as I told you, that Pakistan has given the caps. Might be Fakhar would have given, Imam was given the cap in the previous game, so new lads would have been there. In the last 25 years, English team Australia is coming there more. In the last 25 years, Australia has never given the cap to any new debutant. Even in the English team out of 3 out of 4 last openers, in the last 12 years, only one player was given the cap in England. All others were given the chance in the Bangladesh, Sri Lanka or in Sharjah. They were not given the cap over there. Even with the likes of Indian team and the most experienced team, with the last 18 years, India also never did the opening with a new, whether it's Cheteshwar Pujara or some other batter. India never come up with a new batter in the English season. But these are the surprising facts which I was not amused at all. And one more thing, when I took the name of Fakhar, I was very angry on this thing, that Fakhar was given the chance to play for the Somerset County, which is the county of Ian Botham. Ian Botham was once playing with this county. Somerset County, he was refused from the Pakistan Cricket Board regarding his fitness, and later on he was allowed to play in the Bangladesh Premier League. What is this nonsense? I couldn't understand, because in the BPL later on, nearly even 1 month was not passed. In the 20 days, Fakhar was asked to go to the BPL. If Fakhar's fitness problem was there and Fakhar was not allowed to play the promising cricket in the Somerset, what more you can want for the Pakistani batter playing in the English summer? This is the most dream thing which any new batsman can ask for his experience. And you have not allowed him to go there, and you have allowed him to go there in the Bangladesh Premier League, BPL, and there he was performing. And when you come back, so it means Fakhar is not in your plan of the test cricket. So Fakhar is not in your test cricket plan. So why he is accompanying them in your final 16 to the England? So these are some hilarious issues which are questionable from the Pakistan Cricket Board chief and the chief selector, who is also hilarious sometimes. During his career UF team, because of his non-serious issues, he was also a piece of mockery for the rest of the cricket. And this thing was again seen that when PCB, if they were willing to give the chance to the Fakhar, then Fakhar should have given the chance to play for the Somerset County. If Fakhar would have gone there, Fakhar can play there, then it would have been good for the Fakhar to play in the Pakistan, at least some experience under his belt. If you deny with this that Fakhar's presence was not necessary, then there is one question comes to my mind. That is a height of stupidity from the Pakistan Cricket Board and the chairman and the selection committee, that if they feel that the English summer is not that much important, that do let me know one thing. If you see the batting mastery of Virat Kohli or the Indian batting lineup, this is the batting paradise of the cricket world. None of other batsmen could have been more better than the Indian batsmen of this era. This is the strongest outfit which I am seeing since my childhood, since 4 decades. I have seen strongest output. Indian players, mind you, if you are not knowing, I may tell you that they are not playing county, they are not playing any other side cricket, any BPL, any upcoming Sri Lankan league or the Bangladesh Premier League or the PSL, but they are playing only IPL. But if I say you after this, but what else they are playing? Only one more thing, and that is the English season. That's why when Afghanistan will come and play against the Indian team, Virat Kohli will not be available for that match, not because this time because of the Anushka Sharma, but this time he will be busy against the Worcestershire. So just it should be in your mind that he is, if with the class of Virat Kohli, what I say that if you give this batter the time in the desert, he will still able to score 100 over there. If Virat Kohli feels that he should not come with an Indian banner and Indian flag against the team, against the Afghanistan, and he is willing to play for the Worcestershire, then why not Fakhar? What so with the Pakistan batting lineup, which is already so fragile, not with this Sarfaraz Pakistan's 11, but if I go dating back to the Imran Khan's 11, to the Wasim Akram's 11, dating back to the 1980, Pakistan's batting fragile lineup was always fragile, only standing on the pillars of Javed Miandad. Javed Miandad and some of the tail-handers saving the Pakistan brushes. I still remember some of the matches revolving in my mind. If I remember Abdul Qadir and Wasim Hassan Raja, his God may rest his soul in the peace. So these are the things I just want to tell you, that just see that how weak Pakistan cricket board is and how good are the decisions of the Indian cricket board, and both are South Asians and both are in the same contingent of the world where Pakistan relies. So it's time to close the show, but before closing the show, what we do, killer factor. We will go to the killer factor, and I will request my producer to make the music up for the killer factor. A killer factor is coming before closing the show. Something very special to tell you. Imran Tahir, bowler from the South Africa, big name from the South Africa, number one bowler of the T20 cricket circuit right now. He is the part and parcel of the T20 games when South Africa is taking on opponents, whether in Centurion, whether in Johannesburg, or back in Pakistan, or back in the desert of Dubai. But do you know that Imran Tahir, before playing to the South Africa, he has taken part in the Under-19 Cricket World Cup 1998. Do you know that which team he was presenting? If you are not knowing, this is the killer factor, that he was presenting Team Pakistan in the Under-19 Cricket World Cup 1998. So time for me to close the show, because I think I'm just getting over the time, and next time when I will come, Pakistan would have taken England at the Lords 24th of May. We wish Pakistan best of luck with a new batting lineup, with Sarfraz going with the team, and we will see how they will perform. Hope that Pakistan batting collapses. We will not be seeing against the likes of Broad and the James Anderson, but still we have to wait for that. And when I will come back, I will give you the news of that match, as well as the World 11 match at the Lords going on, and also some more news related to the cricket. So at the end of the show, I just want to tell you that keep following us, and you can see the numbers scrolling down for your suggestions. I will be waiting, and you can go to your Facebook Live, Greatest Empire USA, and over same over YouTube page, Greatest Empire USA. You can follow me, you can give your suggestions. If you want to come to my show, if you want to become a part of my show, you are most welcome to give the suggestions and to become a part of a show. Till the next episode, it's time for Dr. Adnan to say goodbye from here. Take care and bye-bye.